stars are blue and the shadows are fall. You can hear my heart calling, a little bit of love makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. My love, all of my kissing. You don't know just what you've been missing, oh boy. But you and me, oh boy, oh, you can say that you would do one thing.
Love it. That is Zachary Stevenson. This is my favorite line of the day. He plays Buddy in Buddy Holly. He plays Buddy in Buddy, the Buddy Holly story. Right?
Yeah,
did I get that right?
Yes.
Buddy,
Thank you.
Exactly.
how's it going?
Hey, good.
Hey, Buddy.
So how many times have you played Buddy Holly now?
This is my 7th production.
Okay.
Buddy 7. It's like the Rocky series. It just keeps going.
This one
on.
happens in Russia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before the first Buddy for you, had you always sang Buddy Holly tunes? I mean, of course, you're an actor, you're a singer, but had you done him before?
No. It was just I responded to a casting call.
No way.
Yeah, it was just a kind of. It was funny because at the time I was doing a revival of Hair. You know, the tribal love rock musical.
Right, yeah.
And
So you're all shaggy.
really long
and-
hair, big sideburns, and there's a casting call for Buddy, and I showed up. It was funny because the guy in the waiting room was like totally done up with the Buddy Holly look, and I came in
This is the dawning of the age of the Aquarium.
This is what Buddy Holly would have turned into in about 1966.
You know what? He probably would have.
Yeah, that's
knowing what I
funny.
know about him now.
You know, you must know so much about Buddy Holly himself as well. I mean, not only playing the role, but just sort of living the life for a little bit. And he's a fascinating guy. He has such a huge impact in music in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
How do you get prepared for a role? I mean, obviously the first time you probably just learn your lines, you sing the songs, and you go, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I was pretty meticulous. I mean, I had lots to learn the first time round, lines, the songs, the chords, what have you. I hadn't really played much electric guitar at that point, so I had to learn a little bit of blues guitar. And, I used what was there. There's a little bit of footage on YouTube, so I could kind of get a sense of how he was in his body. And then
you got the look down, that's for sure.
Once you shaved, you hippie.
Yeah, once I shaved and had a little plastic surgery, it was good. I really nailed it. And,
well, let's talk about the pilgrimage that you did and where you went. Tell us a little bit about this. It's fascinating.
Well, at that point I had finished Buddy 5, and it was like, people kind of expect me to know, be an aficionado on the subject, which I am to a degree, but I felt like it was time I had to go down and see some of these places for myself.
And we're looking at some footage right now.
Proper spelling on his gravestone as well, with the E.
Yeah, and here I went and saw the crash site itself. This is in
I had no idea it was like a memorial like that. I mean, everybody knows about Graceland and Elvis, but I guess there is the same thing with Buddy Holly and Richie Valens and everyone who died in that crash.
That's right, and it's totally accessible for anybody to go see. It's obviously a less popular site than Graceland. It's less popularized. Yeah. So what's really cool is, when I went, the highlight for the trip for me was going to Clovis, to the studio there. And I thought that, like any other tourist, I would be, kind of looking at it from a distance, be behind,
the velvet ropes.
Totally. But, they just invited us right into the studio floor. And, I was wearing glasses, and people kind of caught on that I might have been a performer.
Tell us who you sang for.
Well, people kind of encouraged me to play, and the guy who was the tour guide was this guy, David Bingham, who actually was a singer on some of the original recordings. So he sang backups for me while I did some songs there.
Come on.
Yeah.
How weird is that experience? I mean, but... that's one of those moments, when you're there and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially, the moment I walked in, I just, it kind of hit me, like, here we are.
Did it change the way that you play Buddy, the way Buddy Holly comes out of you on the stage?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's really deepened that connection, because when I'm there on stage, I have a very, very clear image in my mind of what those places are.
Well, and Zach, you see an image there, but
wow.
You've played a lot of dead rock musicians, man, on stage, and I guess it's both the look and the ability to play music and the musicianship that sort of play into these roles for you.
Yeah, and I think I have a good ear. I've always trusted my ear, and that's how I learn most stuff. And I think that helps as far as getting the voice right.
Is Elvis more difficult than Buddy Holly?
I wouldn't say that, no. They have their own challenges. They're equal. I mean, it was funny about Elvis is, in a way, Elvis has different Elvi. You know, it's like he has different eras. There's a bunch of characters within the one guy, you know? A lot of people...
Zach, I'm guessing you usually play the young Elvis, not the Vegas Elvis.
You know what? I'm a little more drawn to the young Elvis, yes.
Give it time, my friend, and keep eating.
Oh, well, I'll get there eventually.
I'll get to old Elvis as we go.
Please, if I...
Wait, let's look at Zachary playing Elvis right now so you can see what we mean.
Sure.
So, that's really cool. How much do you have to just sort of let it go, especially during musical numbers, whether it's, you know, playing Buddy in the Buddy Holly story or whether it's playing Elvis? How much do you just have to kind of let it go and not necessarily act, but just enjoy the music while you're playing it?
Right. Well, that's kind of key, I think, is to get beyond the work. Like, first, you got to be meticulous. You really work on all the little details. It's kind of intellectualized. But once you get into performance, you know, those guys weren't thinking about every little nuance.
Right.
They were just doing it.
They were performing.
So you got to get that like language of the guys in your system, and then just do it and have fun and respond to the audience.
It's almost like being a method actor, right? In that old acting thing, because you have to be in the mindset, yet at the same point, you have to be free to, you know, experiment within that role.
Totally. That's
God,
exactly
that was deep.
right.
That was the deepest thing I've ever said.
You nailed it.
You know what? I think Michael Eckford just understood acting in that moment.
That's all right, no, mama.
Expect his YouTube channel.
What was that? Was that good too? No?
Okay, you've got an album out as well, Zachary. Just don't look at him, because it'll just get worse.
Are you ready to do a duet?
Yeah, no, it's on Smash
You can
Dance.
check Zachary out on stage in Buddy the Buddy Holly story at the Stanley Theatre. Michael will be doing the next run as Elvis Presley.
I'm the short Elvis.
Until August the 26th. And for more info, you can go to the Arts Club website. And where can people grab your CD?
Well, right now it's available only at the show itself. I'm selling them after the show.
Mike wants to tell you the lyrics for La Bamba.
No, just... He's trying to tell people information. Don't distract it with
Since
my
when did you care
foolishness.
about information?
I didn't care, but that's
So at
nice
the
too.
theater.
Because you get to have an interaction with people right after the show too, and everybody has a story, right?
That's what's great. You know what I mean? At this point in my career as Buddy, it's the biggest challenge is to keep it fresh, because I've done it so many times, and you know, people sometimes ask, how do you get the energy to keep doing it? And really, what's key for me is after the show, I go out and I sell CDs, but the greater part of it is to have that moment where people get to express how much the show had meant to them, you know, and they really do appreciate us going the extra mile and making it authentic and giving a real tribute to the music that they really care about. So people that were there you know, that Buddy Holly's music they have a personal connection to, they really, really appreciate that we make that effort.
Well, thank you so much, Zachary. Once again, you can see him at the Stanley Theatre. Go check it out. We're going to take a quick break.